Good evening, South Africa.
Oh, good evening, USA.
It's an exciting time in America.
You can say that again. It's an exciting time everywhere. When we've got a minute, Jacob, will we talk afterwards? Reg, I've just attended 2 days conference on Tuesday and Wednesday. There's an organization here from America. I don't know if you've heard of them. It's called Global Institute for Negotiation.
I'm not familiar with that name at all. I'll look them up later.
They actually, the founder is from Texas. He is a Christian evangelist, but he's assured us that his aim is definitely not to convert anyone. And Jacob, I must tell you and Serona and everyone about this. And they invited, I went as the interfaith liaison of the Jewish Board of Deputies, and I had to find a rabbi, so I took the rabbi I sit with on the board, and you'll never guess what, Jacob? I managed to get Rabbi Jonathan Fox from the Chev just there for one afternoon, just to be introduced to this whole global quest, I suppose, for peace. And I just think he's the best, I can tell you that. But anyway, so they've got a religious arm and a political arm. And just one, and the political arm fascinated me. There's the most, and like us, they're non-partisan, Reg. They don't take sides. You might have your own opinion, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, whether you like Trump or not, or Harris, but they're non-partisan, the same as our Heritage Center. And, they had the most amazing people from the States with them, looking for a way forward. And instead of calling anything interfaith, which in itself gives rise to an era that we've had where interfaith didn't really work. We all came with our own ideas, etc. And they're now calling it, Jacob, multi-faith. And that type of word, multi-faith, there are two organizations. The one is religious, the other political. When I say religious, I just mean representatives of different religion, Baha'i, everything join. And multi-faith is a brand new concept. It fascinated me that where you are fiercely proud of your own identity, you do not want to convert anyone else, but you look for common ground, and you really ask the other to tell you the truth, what you think of them. And so it's, if we have time, another time, I'll share it with you. But these people come from Texas, Reg. This is the chap who's built all of this. And a lot of them work directly within the American government as advisors, and they have to be non-partisan. So that's where I've been, Jacob, for 2 days this week. I had to get up at 5 in the morning to get there. It was in Centurion. So with that, welcome everyone. Good Shabbos. Oh, Melvin, how wonderful that you've managed to join us. That is fabulous. And John.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
I haven't been well.
I know. You've been on our refuah list, our healing list forever. And I'm so pleased that you're well enough now.
Something happened to me from Sunday, and I was nearly rushed to hospital yesterday.
And today?
But now everything's sorted out, I hope. But otherwise, I'm fine.
We are so delighted to have you with us. All right, so without further ado, for Facebook and anyone who may watch us from the moon, you never know, in a week's time, I'm Reeva Foreman, chair of Temple Israel Hillbrow, founded in 1936, and we are one of the many, many streams of Judaism. We are the progressive reform stream. And so today is the worldwide celebration of what is called the Shabbos Project. It was started in 2013 by the chief rabbi, Warren Goldstein, who is the chief rabbi of the modern Orthodox, traditional Orthodox, or any Orthodox. In progressive Judaism, we don't have a chief rabbi, but I've been working with him on and off. He used to be with the board. He doesn't sit with us much any longer, but he's a great Zionist, articulate fighter. And if you're interested, I've still got the first article he ever wrote in, I don't know when it was, I think in the early 2000s or the late 90s. Anyway, he wrote a book. He started the Shabbos Project in 2013 with the idea that one Shabbat should be a very, very special one. And people took to the streets to celebrate Shabbat and get to know their Jewish neighbor who might not even be religious, or get to know each other. And the woman traditionally cooked the challah, the bread, and people came out, and it was really started initially, am I right, Jacob and Serona, you know, with a Shabbat celebration outside, am I right? After shul service.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and of course, I think it was started first in the ultra-Orthodox or the Orthodox or religious areas. Anyway, this one Shabbat to celebrate spread like wildfire throughout the world. And I phoned him and said to him, you know, the most of the shuls in America taking your Shabbat project to heart are progressive. And he laughed and he said, I'm pleased. But I attended a book launch of his a couple of years ago, and he's got this book. It's a beautiful book. It's called A Day to Create Yourselves, Building Character. And he's written a lovely citation to me. The progressives and the Orthodox, I must tell you, Reg, normally aren't friendly. And no Orthodox rabbi would put a foot in a progressive shul, but all of that's superficial. And so today is the Shabbos that's being celebrated all over the world. I think I read in many countries, you know, like 70 countries or 60 countries, all different streams. And ultimately, the theory is, even if you just make one Shabbat special in the year, and Jews of all streams and secular Jews, and Jews who've forgotten they're Jews, even come to that one Shabbat a year, you're creating unity, you're reminding them of their Jewish family. And of course, since COVID, you'll understand that everyone, all the different religious streams of all in the world, and all the different philosophical streams in the world, have gone back quickly to their religion, to their roots, to find comfort and meaning in this unbelievable time of uncertainty. So we'll be going into the Shabbos, the special Shabbos, much more tomorrow. But tonight I thought I wanted to give you an introduction, because we, like every shul in South Africa, it doesn't matter what stream you are, has notes that this is that special Shabbos. And the special Shabbos means that we feel we together. That, and the most important thing, of course, of Shabbos is kind, an act of kindness, words of kindness to someone you don't agree with, words of an act of kindness, as I always say, to a hobo on a street or to anyone you meet. And Serona and I would add, and I think quite a few of you, kindness to the animal world, the creatures around us, and to nature. So with that, we start our Shabbat service, as we always do, with dedicating this to Israel. And the first thing we want to do is light a Yortzeit candle, which is never done at a Shabbat unless it's once a year during Yom Kippur. And so this conflict, this war, and horribly 101 hostages, we don't know how many, Baruch Hashem, alive, or how many have passed on, are still in captivity. So we want to start the service by lighting a Yortzeit candle that is to commemorate those who've lost their lives in this horrific conflict, starting with that horrible, horrible day. I was at Temple Israel Shul on the Shabbat morning of the 7th of October last year when I got the message on my phone, and we were just horrified. And so now, how many days later, Jacob, you had at the top of your notice? Jacob? How many days later are we now?
I think it's 407 at the moment.
407. You always put it kindly. Jacob sends out a notice every week about the parasha, and it's so important. And so let us think of those who've lost their lives in the most barbaric way, in the face of evil, and those who've lost their lives defending you, me, defending a Western developing democracy throughout the world. I hope you can see that this is burning. And Zichronom Livracha, may their lives be for a blessing. May this conflict and suffering on all sides of the conflict. And the wonderful Rabbi Mervis was here last week with us from the UK. He's also been given a special honor by the UK, and daily he assured us that Charles is rooting for the Jewish people and is very close to us. And I was so proud when Rabbi Mervis, who is the chief rabbi, the equivalent of Warren Goldstein in the UK, said, "We regret the suffering on all sides of this conflict. Not only our own heroic Israel nation and Jews who've been tortured, who've lost their lives defending us, but also innocent, and the word is the innocent, Palestinians who have also lost their lives in this conflict. And may their memory be for a blessing." And now from that, which is our Jewish tradition, we have to see hope. We have to see, in spite of this insane world we're in, that somehow the world is unfolding just as it should. With whatever happens in the Western countries, no matter which party gets in, no matter whom the leader is, none of them are perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect leader. And we know that through Moses as well. but we have to then turn to faith in the future and a solemn joy. Excuse me. And so we light the light of a Shabbat candle. And as we bring that light of hope, of a future without human suffering and a conflict, even if it's just a cessation of conflict for a few years, in this light of Shabbat, we can see light for ourselves and all those around us. And now we